Can you imagine this empty room in front of you? There's nobody else here.
Yeah.
And it's perfectly fine for you to do this with your eyes closed. And if this room was completely empty, and halfway across this room, sort of in front of us here, but separating us from the other half of the room, was this thick plexiglass screen that completely sealed off that side of the room. And we're completely sealed in here with our own ventilation system. And there is no gap, and in no way can the air that exists on that side of the room even come here at all. You can imagine that, right? Great. Now what I'd like you to do is just imagine that over there on the other side of the room will be you. You're going to be there. And I'd like you to tell me, what kind of substance could there be which, you know, it may look like dust, but it's not. For example, talcum powder, baby powder, that aggravates you, does it? What kind of something similar that looks like dust, perhaps, could there be, which you're comfortable to be around? Think back, as far as you need to go. What kind of substance can you be around? I know that beach sand is fine for you, isn't it? Isn't that interesting?
Not too fine, though.
Not the too fine beach sand.
Yeah, the coarser.
The coarser beach, yeah, okay. And is there anything else? Think about the condiments in your kitchen.
Yeah, only the coarser ones, not the fine ones.
Fine ones? Tickle the nose? Okay. What to you is the closest granular, let's call it finest possible granular substance that you can be around and you're absolutely comfortable being near to that or in that? Like you would be in the beach sand.
Yeah, raw biscuits and coarsish beach sand. Fine beach sand if it's wet, it's okay. Salt is borderline. If it's stored, it's fine. If it's in the meal, it's not. If I'm downing for it, it's not.
Salt. I want something that's really okay.
Sugar.
Sugar is fine?
Yeah.
Caster sugar?
No.
Which kind of sugar?
White sugar, brown sugar, yellow sugar.
Normal sugar.
Yeah.
And you can sort of work with sugar. You like baking? Sometimes. Are you around much sugar?
Everybody in my family uses it, but it's not a big issue.
Look, the thing you're around most, I think, is the beach sand, is it not? And Langewan beach sand is okay for you?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. If it's not blowing too hard, then I'm sitting in it.
However, you're on the beach quite a lot, and it is
but
blowing.
if it's around my feet, it's acceptable.
So all this fine sand can blow around your feet, and that's actually okay?
Yeah, to a certain degree. There is a point where it gets too much.
What point?
It gets higher than, yeah.
Higher than
Yeah,
fire
so
level.
sometimes it blows slightly faster than the car, it blows until the window, it's too much. You know, it feels it, yeah.
And then what happens?
I'm blocked immediately.
Okay. You're in the beach sand.
Yeah.
Is there something else? I'm just curious. I'd like to find whatever there is for you.
If it's still, it's okay. If it's blowing, if it's even breath, even smoke, dogs breathing, cats breathing,
All does the same thing?
all does the same thing.
I'm going to release this for a minute. And if you want to, you can keep your eyes closed. Because you know what this means. Please go ahead and find something else. Because I'm curious. And I'd like to know what substance you can be around that is the finest possible grain. Baking ingredients, perhaps.
Maize flour.
Maize flour? Probably the finest.
Maizena, eh?
Maizena, that's correct. Are you fine with that?
Yeah, that's very fine.
That's very fine. And is this something you have in your home?
Yeah.
And you can, you know, work with Maizena and do what you do with that, and you're completely fine with that. Well, that's very interesting. Well done. I'd like to thank your unconscious mind for finding that example. It's perfect. So we've got Maizena, which is a very fine, powdery, white grain, and you're absolutely fine and comfortable with that because your immune system knows it's harmless. And therefore it doesn't react in any way that it shouldn't be. Great. So what I'd like you to do once again, and here it is, the here and now, completely safe, clear, breathing fine, normal functioning, anchor. And once again, remember that plexiglass screen that separates us fully and completely from the other half of this room. And we're completely safe in our own ventilated air in this side of the room. Feel that ventilation on your skin, can't you? That's different from that side of the room. That's now completely sealed off. And I'd like you to imagine you on the other side of this plexiglass, in your kitchen perhaps, and you're using Maizena, right? And there you are using Maizena, and your immune system is functioning properly because it recognizes that Maizena is harmless and it's completely fine for you to be using this substance. I don't know, what would you be doing with Maizena? Baking?
The white sauce for chef is
For the cauliflower. Okay, so cauliflower white sauce. Love to taste yours sometime. So there you are, on the other side of that screen. Not here, but over there. And you're making a white sauce for cauliflower, and is it like a 500-gram bag of Maizena on your kitchen counter? Or? Like a yellow box. Okay, and so you're baking away, and everything's fine, and you know, good, yeah? And now I'd like you to imagine that that box just kind of tips over, and some of that Maizena's sort of out on the kitchen top, and that's all okay, right? Fantastic. And you're over there, in that kitchen, sealed off, and some wind blows in through the window and lifts up some of that Maizena, and it kind of blows up. Okay? It's just Maizena. It's just Maizena. It's only Maizena. And what happens? On the other side of that screen, over there, you're imagining yourself in the kitchen.
It's all over my face, but
Are you imagining it all over you? Oh, I didn't say do that. Jeez, that's quite... So there's a little bit of it blowing around, and what happens when it's all over your face?
it was itchy in the beginning, and then it went away. Just did this kind of.
Yeah. Because it's probably not nice to have this powdery stuff blow into the eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's nice for anybody. Still doesn't mean that the immune system has to go off and make any kinds of mistakes, does it? Oh, another kind of powder. Isn't that interesting? So there you are in your kitchen. Maizena's just been swept up by the wind, and that's blown, and it's time for your glycose, and you take the glyconutrients, and whoops, that kind of spills somewhere, and you can imagine some of the glyconutrients. I don't know if it's...
I always cough. Often happens.
It's a fine dust. So do I. That's okay. You know, our bodies are able to respond to these things naturally and normally and get rid of things. Still doesn't mean that there is an immune system breakdown. Like when you're with the Maizena and your glyconutrients and you're completely fine. I'd like you to imagine now that the wind blows through your open kitchen window and some more of that Maizena blows into your face. You know, maybe Shok is there with you, you can have a little laugh. Yeah, it's not nice to have it, but you wipe it away, and what happens?